I decided that I just never wanted to feel that way again.
Look for the gift in that, because now that painful experience transformed Patricia's life and practice.
Now,
And now,
I'm constantly focusing on my breathing the entire time and making sure that I'm grounded, that I'm in.
welcome to Estrada Sisters Connect. We're your hosts. I'm Veronica Estrada.
And I'm Patricia Estrada.
And today we're going to continue our series where we show you stuff that you can do at home, because going to a therapist or life coach once a week is just not enough to take care of your mental health. So today I'm going to be interviewing Patricia on her stretching practice.
Yay, can't wait.
Yeah. So I'm going to start, and I want to know, sister, how did you get started with practicing stretches every day?
So yeah, stretching is something that I have been doing for a few years now. I actually started doing it one year when my mom came to visit for a couple of weeks. And I took her around town doing the tourist things, and we were going to take a train to Venice. And I woke up that morning with a little bit of like a sore back, lower back. And I was just like, whatever, I don't care. I'm excited. My mom's here. We're going to Venice. And by the time we got there, I could barely walk. And it was so bad that I could hardly, when I went to sleep, I couldn't like turn to my side without like lifting my legs with my hands and like flipping over. So
Oh
I decided
no.
that
That's scary also. Not only is
yeah,
it inconvenient, but it's scary.
yes, exactly. And so I decided that I just never wanted to feel that way again. And so I asked my kinesiologist. She was not actually, she and I were not working together yet, but she was somebody that I would see at the gym. And I asked her about what she thought about it. And she said, well, yeah, if you're, walking around town on uneven cobblestone and you're holding a bottle of water and you're holding shopping bags and you're holding an umbrella, like all of these imbalances can cause that. Because my mom was fine. It didn't happen to her as well. It was just me. And so, yeah, I just decided I didn't want to feel that way ever again. And so I decided to incorporate stretching into my routine. And I started doing it in the morning because I'm the kind of person that it's best to just do things first, rather than saying I'll just do it later, because it tends to not happen. And unfortunately, it's still something that happens, that I don't do it if I don't do it right first thing in the morning. But yeah, so I literally just Googled some
Yeah.
stretches.
So that's how, so I was going
And
to ask you, like, how did you know what to do? Like, if the kinesiologist she wasn't really working with you just yet. And she was just like, I don't want to work with you until your back stops hurting. Cause
yes.
she wasn't a physical therapist. So she was like, you kind of got to get right before I start working with you. How did you figure out what to do?
Well, yeah, like I said, I just Googled lower back stretches and they're literally the most basic ones. Veronica and I talked about wanting to, how to show you guys this, but I think I'm just going to go with it because I just feel like it's important to show. So I just Googled like what to do. And oopsies, I know I have to do this, but yeah, so I just Googled and it's the most basic things, right? And so I just like do these guys. I do this, and I'm going to just fly
Mm-hmm.
through it right now so that you guys don't have to sit through this. But do this guy very slowly, go back to the center, and come back this way, do this
Mm-hmm.
guy. I'm constantly focusing on my breathing the entire time and making sure that I'm grounded, that I'm in feeling my body, because I actually listen to my body. I don't count a certain number of seconds. Sometimes I do if I'm in a rush, right? So then after I come back to the center, I'll sometimes do that pose that's called baby, happy baby, I think it is. And so
Mm-hmm.
then after
Yeah.
that, I just like have that bring me back up. And so at this
Mm-hmm.
point, I'll just do this. I'll raise that again, because I'll just usually in the morning when you wake up, you're gonna be tight. And so I just like let myself, I'll just turn towards you guys again. And so I just kind of like lean forward. And sometimes that's me. I feel it and I'm like, all right. And I just like will do that until I can get down to my normal level. Because like right now I can probably put my hip face very close to my knees, but in the morning, that's not the case. And so,
Right.
so yeah. So then after I do those, I'll just like do butterfly type of thing. And then like I said, I just feel my body. Over the years I've added things. And when I'm sitting in this position, sometimes this is enough and just going forward, but other times, oftentimes I'll just like reach each hand over, and then I feel the stretching happening, right? And I feel the
Nice.
stretching happening. And again, I'm just like breathing and I'm feeling. And then from this position, it's easy to flip over. And again, I'll face you guys now so you're not looking at my butt. But I
You're
so
making me
I'll
want to stretch. It looks like so like I could feel like tension in my shoulders and I'm like, I just want to stretch right now.
And I didn't even show you guys the exercise. I usually start off with some exercises for my posture, which I did learn from my
I
kinesiologist,
did some
but
of those this
obviously
morning, which I'm happy
good.
about. Like the book, the
Right.
one like this. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so nice. And
Yeah.
these
So
guys.
yeah, so I finish my stretching. I finish it by doing the cats and cows, they call it in yoga. And so this is what the cat is. Like you think of a cat rolling its back, like when they go like this. And then I always empty my lungs out at this point. And then I, for the cow, you look up. And again, just focusing on the breathing. Something else that is not for the lower back, but that my kinesiologist did teach me was to take, move backwards and then put one hand in front of the other, and then just go like this. And you feel that all right here. And
Mm.
again, you're focusing on your breathing, you're breathing out, you're breathing in. You need to be comfortable. And then like you only go down as far as you can. And I do that on the same thing on the other side before I then just like push up onto my feet. And at that point, I just kind of go like this before I bring my feet up here and stand up, which I won't do because then I'll go off camera. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what I do. And I've been doing that for a few years now.
I want to make a point here before I ask you the next question. It's like it's it's sometimes the pain and the discomfort that ends up being a gift for us, right? That discomfort, and you decided like I'd never want to feel this way again, like feel like out of place in my own body, right? And making that choice of like, okay, I always want to be healthy, I always want to take care of my body, I always want to be mindful. So look for the gift in the pain, you guys. Like if you are feeling any type of discomfort or you're sick or anything hurts or something happened, look for the gift in that, because now that painful experience transformed Patricia's life and practice. And now it also helps your mental health practice, right? So how does stretching every morning support your mental health?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it definitely supports my mental health. So stretching was what I was doing. And if you guys will watch one of the episodes before, when I mentioned that what I every morning I do a little routine, something for my mind, something for my body, and something for my spirit. And the thing for my mind is the journaling, the thing for my body is the stretching, and then for my spirit, it's meditation. Hopefully you guys go back and watch it if you have not yet already, meditation one. But yes, so the stretching is the first thing that I was doing, and that's actually what I ended up building on. So I was habit stacking without even knowing it, right? So I started the meditation practice before, which is I would just lay down and do the breathing exercises, and then I would stretch. And so every time I'm stretching, it's almost as though it's a continuation of the meditation. And again, here I go, like
Mm-hmm.
meditation. But so yeah, when I'm stretching, I still make sure that I'm in my body, that I'm focusing on the feelings that are coming up, like the physical feelings that are coming up when I do each exercise. Because when I started doing those exercises, a few years ago, my back was still hurting, so I had to be very attentive. I didn't want to cause any more damage, and so
Mm-hmm.
I made sure that I was like, seeing how far I could go with each leg, with each side, pushing myself just a little bit further once I did get comfortable with wherever I was. And doing that allows me to, again, just like we mentioned in the meditation episode, go back into my body, into the present moment, rather than being in my head and thinking about all the bajillion things that I need to do the rest of that day, or the argument that I may have had with someone, or something that I may be anxious about. I just come back to my
Mm-hmm.
body And again, I always use, if you haven't watched the grounding episode, you definitely need to watch that, because I always, always, always go back to the 5 4 3 2 1 method, which is where you name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can feel, the 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And of course, I don't usually have to do the whole thing, but this is exactly where I do my stretching every morning. And so I'll just like look around, and I'll bring myself back to this moment. And again, I mean, it's been fundamental to my mental health to do that. And I always can feel the difference both in my body and in my mind when I haven't been doing this practice as I like to.
Yeah, yeah, and I like that something else you said before we jumped on camera. You were saying that it shows you that you can control your thoughts, right? So again, like meditation is a practice to become the observer of our thoughts. Like this too is, it's like that muscle that you're flexing of controlling where your mind goes, controlling the types of thoughts that you think, and choosing what you want to think. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your stretching practice with us. I'm gonna like go and stretch after this and make my body feel good and take care of it. But I love that you're sharing this with us, and I super appreciate it. And we're gonna give you a little breakdown of the stretches in the show notes, but let us know what you do, what helps you. As we get older, we gotta incorporate more of this stuff into our routines. Otherwise we get all like, we lose our mobility, and that's one of the most important gifts that we have. So we encourage you all to stretch and breathe and meditate and journal and do all the things at home to take care of your mental health, and let us know how this episode has helped you.
Yes, thank you. And the last thing I want to add to that, besides the fact that the sun is changing all over the place during this short episode, last thing I want to say is that the reason that we're encouraging all of you guys to do all of these things for your mental health is that we want to live joyful lives. We want to, focus on finding joy and keeping, just being joyful people. And the only way that we have found that we can do that is when we have our mental health in order. So that's all.
Yes, yes. And all of this goes back to our first episodes, like healing intergenerational trauma. Like that's where we started, and that's the purpose of this show. And that's why we're here sharing all these little tips with you, because it takes a lot of little things to change your life and to find more joy in your day-to-day. And so you have the power to be happier. You can do this. We believe in you, and we're excited for you to be a part of this, and keep watching the episodes.
Yay. See you next time.
Bye.